East on Manchester, under the 110 freeway. Did not come out the other side yet. This is always a tricky point. Sometimes they will stop under the freeway. He's out of the vehicle. The vehicle's rolling.
A stolen Jaguar. A driver doing 125 miles an hour through downtown Los Angeles. 2 helicopters in the air. CHP backing off because it's too dangerous. And then, at the end of all of it, the part that makes this the strangest pursuit you'll see this year. The driver pulls the Jaguar under a freeway overpass, jumps out of the moving car, and runs off on foot. The Jaguar keeps rolling through the intersection without a driver, bumps a parked van, and finishes the chase by itself. The suspect was never caught. The Jaguar was. The chopper anchors said the line out loud in the very first second of coverage on live television.
GTA, Grand Theft Auto of a stolen Jaguar.
That was how ABC7's air crew identified what they were looking at. A newer model Jaguar, luxury sedan, dealer fresh, the kind of car that retails north of $70,000. Stolen. According to early radio chatter, it had originated somewhere in the East LA area, possibly across the line in Riverside County. The Riverside County Sheriff's Helicopter, an agency the LA broadcasts almost never feature, had been tracking it from the air for some unknown period before ABC7's chopper picked it up.
The Riverside County Sheriff's Helicopter is up here with us.
Westbound on the 10 freeway, 120 miles an hour.
Still doing about $120 westbound on the 10 freeway.
No ground unit close enough to engage. And the suspect, whoever he was, had just turned a routine Grand Theft Auto report into one of the most reckless pursuits the LA freeway system had seen all summer. For the next 4 minutes, the Jaguar tore through the heart of Los Angeles, off the 10 freeway into the East LA interchange, the busiest freeway interchange in the western United States, and onto the 101 northbound at over 110 miles an hour, across the LA River, past Chinatown, where he exited unexpectedly into surface streets, onto Spring Street, past City Hall, where the chopper camera briefly lost him behind the building, onto Temple, westbound, through every red light.
Going through every red light.
Over the double yellow lines, threading cross traffic at speeds the chopper crew couldn't even clock, because the surface streets were too short to set a tracker on. Then he got back on the freeway, onto the 110 southbound, in the heart of downtown.
Southbound 110 freeway, in the heart of downtown LA.
Pushing 100 miles an hour through traffic that, on a normal weekday afternoon, would have been at a dead stop.
Upwards at some points of 125 mile per hour.
The chopper anchors started saying it on air, half warning, half impressed. This was now the most dangerous pursuit they had covered in weeks. And then CHP did something that surprised them. And here's the detail the chopper anchors started narrating that, if you missed it, would change how you understood the rest of the night. CHP let it go.
Eventually, CHP got involved. They let it go.
Not gave up, not lost him. Let him go. California Highway Patrol made the active decision, somewhere on the 110 southbound, that the Jaguar was driving too dangerously for them to keep pursuing it.
This pursuit has gotten so dangerous, it's been in and out of pursuit mode.
The speeds were too high. The driver was too erratic. The risk to other motorists from continued pursuit had crossed the threshold where, by CHP policy, you back off and you let air units and ground units track the suspect from a distance, and you wait for a slower opportunity.
CHP trying to figure out where they lost him here. They pulled back momentarily.
For nearly 2 minutes, on the 110 southbound, the Jaguar had no police vehicle behind it. The Riverside County Sheriff's helicopter was overhead. The ABC7 news chopper was overhead. But on the ground, nothing. The suspect was driving a stolen luxury sedan through South Los Angeles at 100 miles an hour with no immediate consequence. And he kept going. And then, somewhere around the Manchester Boulevard exit, he saw an opportunity to do something that no one in the chopper, no one watching the broadcast, no one at CHP Dispatch had any idea he was about to do. He took the exit at Manchester Boulevard, pulled the Jaguar under the 110 freeway overpass, and in the few seconds the news helicopter couldn't see him through the concrete. He opened the driver's side door, stepped out of a moving luxury sedan, and started running. The chopper crew narrated the realization in real time, on live air, in 3 short sentences.
He's out of the vehicle. The vehicle's rolling. He is on foot under that freeway.
And then the line that should have been impossible to say on a live LA Pursuit broadcast.
He may very well walk away from this crime.
There were no police on the ground. The closest CHP unit was almost 2 minutes back. The Riverside Sheriff's chopper had a visual on the Jaguar, but the news camera and the police air units could only watch the freeway above. They couldn't see the suspect underneath. They couldn't track him on foot. They couldn't dispatch a ground unit fast enough to corner him before he disappeared into the South LA neighborhood north of Manchester. He vanished, live, on camera, while the chase was still technically in progress. And then the Jaguar came out the other side of the overpass, by itself. The chopper camera, getting back into position after the freeway had blocked the shot, picked up the stolen Jaguar rolling east on Manchester Boulevard at idle speed, maybe 5 miles an hour, with nobody behind the wheel. The driver's seat was empty.
That driver's seat, by my observation, is empty.
The passenger seat was empty. The doors were closed. The car was just driving itself in idle, away from the freeway it had just exited and into the intersection ahead.
That Jaguar is moving on its own.
The chopper anchors went quiet for a beat, and then started narrating the only thing they could narrate: a $70,000 stolen luxury sedan, in idle, rolling on its own across Manchester Boulevard, with no driver, no police, and no one in the chopper able to do anything about it but watch.
This is incredible.
And what was coming up at the end of that block, 50 feet ahead of the rolling Jaguar, was a parked van. The Jaguar made contact at low speed, just bumped it, hard enough to scrape paint, not hard enough to do real damage.
Bumping into that van.
The van didn't move. The Jaguar deflected slightly, kept rolling forward at idle speed, and finally came to a stop in the middle of the intersection at Manchester Boulevard and Broadway.
That Jaguar is coming to a stop there in the middle of the intersection at Manchester Boulevard at either Broadway or Main. They're just one block.
Engine still running, doors still closed, hazard lights never on. The Jaguar just sat there, in idle, in the middle of an active intersection in South LA, with cars driving around it on either side, and a stolen vehicle report still active on the radio, and no human being inside it. The chopper crew said it again, on air, after a long silence.
Somebody's stolen Jag is now rolling through South LA with nobody in it. I can't say I've seen this before.
It took CHP another minute and a half to arrive on scene.
Here comes CHP. What are we going to see here? A pit?
A single highway patrol cruiser pulled up on Manchester. The officer got out slowly because he had no idea, from where he was, whether the Jaguar still had a driver in it, whether the suspect was hiding in the back seat, whether the engine was running because of a remote start or a foot still on the pedal. He approached on the driver's side, looked through the heavily tinted window, and realized, the same way the chopper crew had realized 2 minutes earlier, that the car was empty. The chopper crew narrated the next part on live air, half laughing.
Try and open it up. Try and open it up. Is it okay? It's open, and here it comes to an end.
The officer reached into the driver's seat, turned the engine off. The Jaguar finally went silent. 2 helicopters overhead, 1 CHP officer at the open door, and a stolen luxury sedan that had just driven itself into the middle of an intersection in South LA, parked itself against a stranger's van, and waited for someone to come turn the key. The Jaguar was recovered. The owner, wherever they were that afternoon, was going to get a phone call from LAPD or CHP later that day informing them their $70,000 luxury sedan had been found, in working condition, with mild front-end damage to a parked van in the middle of an intersection in South LA. The case file would close on the recovered vehicle, but the case file on the suspect, the case file on the man who had stolen the Jaguar, driven it at 125 miles an hour through downtown Los Angeles, weaved through 6 freeways, blown every red light from Chinatown to South LA, and escaped on foot under a freeway overpass while CHP was still figuring out where he had gone. That case file stayed open. Charges would have included felony evasion of a peace officer, grand theft auto, multiple counts of reckless driving on a public highway, hit and run for the parked van, and any number of additional counts depending on what was thrown out of the Jaguar during the high-speed phase of the pursuit. Debris the chopper crew flagged but never identified. But none of those charges got filed, because the suspect was never arrested, He took a stolen Jaguar through downtown Los Angeles on a Wednesday afternoon, bailed out of it under a freeway overpass, and walked away from one of the most watched local news pursuits of the year. The chopper anchor, signing off the broadcast, said the line out loud that explained everything you had just watched.
This is a new one on me. Literally,